we're intrigued by all the fun messages.
All right. Hello, everyone. The regular meeting of the South Colony Board of Education is called to order. Roll call. TJ Blakely is excused tonight. Ian Casey.
Here.
Stephanie Cogan here. Vincent Forenzo.
Here.
Rose Gigliello.
Here.
Jennifer Houlihan.
Here.
Michael Keane.
I'm here.
David Keel.
Here.
Christopher Larrabee is excused. Robert Misick.
Here.
Would everyone please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight. Agenda item number 3, approval of the minutes. Would you please look at the meeting minutes of the September 16th, 2025 meeting? Do you have any corrections or comments? I will take them now. Ms. Houlihan?
I noted that our virtual public comments were not embedded in the minutes, just reference to what the topic was. And the folks who are in person, their comments are a matter of record because it's on YouTube, right? But the actual written ones, we didn't read them out loud here and they need to be added to the minutes, right?
We can certainly do that.
We can do it.
I did have the names in the topic.
Yeah, I think it's about transparency with accessibility because anybody can watch a YouTube video and see the ones we had in person, but not the virtual ones that were submitted because we didn't read them, right? We didn't.
We
I
did
mean, we
talk.
wouldn't put them in as a whole, like, so usually it's just their name and topic that's reflected in the minutes.
I guess that's something we could discuss in
Could we create a link rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
attaching each
board
one?
operations?
Yeah, I just think public comments are supposed to be public, right? Like,
Mhm.
so the public should be able to access them in some way, shape or form. Format wise, I have no preference, just that they should be able to access them.
All right, let's move that then to a committee meeting to the board operations. And we can decide how we want to go about that. It's a very good point. Thank you very much. Any other comments? Hearing none, I will take a motion to approve. Mr. Keane, second. Mr. Misick. On the motion made by Mr. Keane, seconded by Mr. Misick, that the minutes of September 16th, 2025 be approved. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries, what are we at? 7-0. Agenda item number 4, school board recognition. It's always my favorite school board meeting of the year. School Board Recognition Week is October 13th through the 17th. Takes strong schools to build a strong community, and the men and the women serving on the Board of Education devote countless hours to make sure South Colony schools are helping every child learn at a higher level. They make tough decisions every month and spend many hours studying education issues and regulations in order to provide the kind of accountability our community expects. On behalf of the staff, faculty, and students of the South Colony Central School District, the superintendent recognizes the members of the Board of Education for their dedication, commitment, and contributions to the students and community of the South Colony and for the many hours of service they provide in supporting excellence in education. Dr. Perry,
Yes.
your comments, go right ahead.
Ms. Cohen, you're working too hard because you're giving your own.
I am. You know, I'll give my own eulogy
Well,
if I can.
On behalf of everyone in the district, myself included, I want to thank all of our board members. This kicks off our celebration of Board Appreciation and Recognition Week. Probably should be a month, but we're going to do it a little bit early. I do want to recognize the service to our school community. Stephanie Cogan, our board president, 7 years of service. David Keel, our vice president, 16 years of service to the community and to the district. Brian Casey, 20 years of service. Rose Gigliello, 13 years of service to the district. Michael Keane, 6 years of service to the district. Chris Larrabee, 5 years of service. Bob Misick, 5 years of service to the district. TJ Blakely, 3 years of service. Jennifer Houlihan, 2 years of service. So thank you very much. And Vincent, welcome as our student board representative. We're going to give you credit for a year of service,
11 years, technically.
11 years.
11 years.
Not on the board yet. But seriously, wonderful group of individuals. For those that may be new to the process, it's an all-volunteer group. There's no compensation. Mr. Ryan used to indicate to Mr. Casey it was 1 or 2 meetings a month, maybe an hour or 2. We know they go beyond that. We just had a meeting tonight, audit and finance. They were very early looking over our financial documents and things like that. So our board members not only attend student functions, community functions, but go a long way in terms of making sure our processes run smoothly. So on behalf of our district, thank you all. Really appreciate all you do. We do have throughout the room here, courtesy of our students and faculty and staff, and thank you to Amber Lanigan for helping to rally the troops each year. Some wonderful displays of appreciation on behalf of our students and staff to our board. So thank you to our teachers and faculty and students for their efforts in recognizing all that our board does.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's wonderful to work on the board. It's wonderful to work with such a great group and working with our administration, with our staff, with our students it's a great process, and we're happy to be of help, and we're happy to be of advice, and we really appreciate the give and take that we have with everybody. It's really a terrific process. Anybody out there, you're thinking of board service, it is a very valuable experience, and if you want to talk to anybody, talk to any one of us. We'd be glad to talk to you about it.
So in addition to what you see in front of you, many of the gifts and items of appreciation, we do have a video that was developed by our staff and students. So I'll let them take it away.
Stephanie Kogan leads the pack, in the kitchen that's never slack. David Keel, arts at heart, kindness, eyes boys playing his part.
Brian Casey's been here 20 years strong. Scoutmaster Disney fan, you can't go wrong. Rose Giggly Yellow, your grandma's so sweet. Spreading kindness to everyone she meets.
Michael Keane, takes always snapping, PTA champ, always laughing. Chris Larrabee, sports and policy bro, smiling and soda wherever he goes.
He's safe, respectful and true. Kristen at the high school, always in view. T.G. Lakey, spice heavy metal beats. Sons on the field, scoring beats.
Jennifer Houlihan, advocate for all, proud mom and educator, answering the call. Vincent Lorenzo, student in charge, driving forward, aiming large.
Oh, South Pony Sports, the best around. Leading with heart, making us proud. Oh,
That is terrific. Fabulous. Wonderful.
We did not get the copyrights to that, so we will share it with the board. We just will not share it out publicly beyond tonight's recognition due to the artists' protection of their privacy.
But if you'd like the lyrics, let me know and I'll email them to you.
Oh, that's just terrific.
So who's the author?
AI.
That's not Alan Iverson.
You fed us some information.
Really?
That's really neat.
Fantastic.
That's really neat. That's just terrific.
It's great that we're recognized, but we also have to recognize Amber, because
Yeah.
without you
Yeah.
organizing us and getting all the information to us and planning all these great things, it makes our job so much easier to have you
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yep, very good, very good. All right, thank you very much, thank you. Agenda item number 5, this is the President's Spotlight. We are going to recognize Colony Central alum Jonathan Rudat for his heroic actions overseas. While riding a tram in Germany, Jonathan stepped in to protect 2 women being harassed, sustaining serious injuries in the process. His bravery and selflessness reflect the values of character and courage celebrated in the Colony community. Jonathan, thank you so much. You make us so proud. You're here with your parents tonight, Amy and Chris. Thank you so much. I don't even have words for your bravery. This young man is 20 years old. And he was over in Europe. He was visiting his host family that you had stayed with in Germany. And he saw a situation that wasn't right, and he stepped in. And it went sideways
Pretty quickly.
pretty quickly.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for having me tonight. Thank you very much for recognizing me. I really appreciate it.
And if it were to happen again, you'd do the same thing.
Without a doubt.
That is incredible. You are what South Colony is all about,
Thank you.
Jonathan. That is just so wonderful. We have a certificate to give to you. We'll go right up here. If you would meet us.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Thank you, guys.
Everyone, Jonathan, All right. Agenda item number 6, superintendent update. Dr. Perry.
Yes, just a couple brief items to make note of. On October 18th, both events are happening on Saturday the 18th. We have a bus rodeo going on. It's a recruiting event as well as a skills competition for some of our area community members. We'll be driving around St. Creek Middle School in kind of an obstacle course. For those community members who may be interested, come out, learn a little about our transportation department, potentially get behind the wheel if you're a licensed driver, and see what it's like. So that begins at 9 o'clock on Saturday. And then our community open house highlighting the capital project work done at the high school will also be going on Saturday beginning at 10 a.m. Until about noon. We'll have students taking groups around from the turf field, the concession area, into the new fitness center and the Mug Gymnasium, going through the team rooms and locker rooms, coming up the stairs to see the B wing, which is the 290s wing, and then heading back towards our newly renovated F wing, which is the English and Social Studies wing, and finishing the tour at the library. So kind of a circular pattern. Recommend parking in the Mug parking lot, and look forward to those two events.
Very good. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 7, new business. Ms. Gigliello.
I was fortunate to go to the eye care assembly.
Mhm.
I went to the second one. It was really nice. Great cause. The kids did a great job putting on the show. Thank you to Tess for meeting them and everything. It was really good. And also, I'm sure everybody's gonna say this, but the Athletic Hall of Fame inductions and then the press box dedication. Wonderful situation. I know the Ryan family is just so thrilled and happy. Of course, they'd rather have Tim here, but this is a great tribute. So.
Very good. Thank you very much. Vincent.
So I want to also say the Athletic Hall of Fame inductions it was my first year going, and it was amazing. And I'm so happy for all the inductees, and especially the Ryan family. Mr. Ryan was an amazing man, and I'm so happy that his family got to see the press box be open. Also, the high school, eye care at the high school is holding Halloween High on October 29th from 5 to 7:30 for all community members. It's mostly for elementary and younger middle school students. And we also are inviting the Board of Education to have a table. I know I've reached out to Ms. Kogan and Ms. Lanigan. In years past, the Board of Education has been present and given candy to kids, and we're looking forward to seeing you all there again.
We will all be there. I think everybody's gonna be there.
Fantastic. And then following up, the phone policy I think is going well at the high school still. Just trying to hold on to that. I think it's going better than anticipated, like I've said before. And the most recent event was the homecoming game and homecoming dance, and both were phenomenal. And a lot of people at both events, and that's about it for me.
Thank you very much. Mr. Masick.
Yeah, again, everyone here with the Athletic Hall of Fame, I just want to do a special thank you to Bill Romer, did a great job. Roger Wyland emceeing it, and then our own Athletic Hall of Fame committee doing a great job recognizing those athletes and teams, so great job.
Very good. Thank you very much. Mr. King?
I can always find something to say.
I was going to say.
I got to
I
attend
count on that.
Athletic Hall of Fame. As everyone said, it was some great heartfelt speeches. Looking forward to our Academic Hall of Fame coming up on November 6th. Mr. Katchdorian was giving Mr. Keel an update. Sounds like we've got everyone pretty much lined up, so.
Great.
Lined up and should be attending.
Everything. Terrific. Thank you very much. Mr. Gill?
Well, let's see, I would just like to follow up Mrs. Gigliello's statements about the eye care assembly. I was very impressed with the student presentations, well projected and heartfelt, and I appreciate the leadership of the young people there. I won't add anything more to the Hall of Fame. It was wonderful. You mentioned Halloween High, and Mrs. Cogan's going to tell us about the PTA, so that's all I have to say.
Very good. Thank you very much. Yeah, then the PTA, we're talking about the South Colony PTA Council, which is the whole council that everybody reports to. And we had the in-person here at district office, and it was also virtual, so it was a hybrid meeting. It was just terrific, great turnout. They will be doing that sort of thing. They'll be doing it at Sand Creek. I believe next time they'll be offering a virtual and in-person. If you can make it in person, it's always great to do that too. And the other thing I wanted to just mention, I happened to be out and about, and I realized it was Shaker Road's open house. And the last time we had been at Shaker Road was the board walkabout, and it was 2 weeks before school opened, and Shaker Road was a mess. Right? It was construction was, yes, it was just, yes. So I said, I'm going to go in. That was where we were all from, the Rudettes, remember. And they got the new classrooms. I was looking specifically for Carm Boardman, who had all my kids for first grade. And I went in and I was sad. Her classroom was dark, but I went down to Mrs. Silling's room, and there was Mrs. Boardman and Mrs. Sillings, and I see the room, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just so beautiful. And they're telling me, and now mind you, these are the same 3 rooms. All the first grade classrooms are the same, right? They are basically the same. Mrs. Boardman took me out of Mrs. Silling's room and made me go into her room to see her room that was the exact same thing, and showed me everything there. And then we went back to Mrs. Silling's room, and Mrs. DiMarino was there. And then she made me go to see her room, was exactly the same thing. So they're so proud of their room, and they have to be careful at lunchtime when they're in the staff room. They don't want to say too much about their rooms because they're so lovely and everything. But they're so thankful, and Mrs. Boardman did say a few things that I asked her if I could share with the board, and she said, I meant to also tell you how wonderful all the workers have been. Jimmy from Bass Hatfield was moving furniture and adjusting tables the day before the kids' game came. Our custodians, Mike and Amanda, were moving countless boxes. Bill Dollard spent a Sunday at Shaker Road so we could have more time unpacking. So many people pitched in to get those students in their rooms on day 1. I know I'm not touching nearly all the names or the tasks accomplished, but wanted to share. Too often we hear the negative, and it's important to hear the positive too. So all of that really meant a lot to the staff and the students of Shaker Road. I wanted to be sure that that was heard, because I know that was a tough race to the finish. So thank you very much. Thank you to all our workers and our staff who were there to make the kids have some place to go. on opening day at Shaker Road. And that is it. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 8, communications. Are there any public comments? Nothing tonight. All right.
Do you want to dismiss our guests?
Yes, I will. Before we start agenda item number 9, the board committee reports, which I believe are the most interesting parts. If you don't need to stay. If anybody just came to hear the first part of this, you are certainly welcome to adjourn yourselves. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, John. All righty. Agenda item number 9, board committee reports. First up is graduation athletic hall of fame. Mr. Keene is the committee co-chair.
I am.
Yes, you are. Whether you have any comments to make.
I mean, everything is pretty much there in the minutes. We just had, successful athletic hall of fame. We've got the academic coming. Just, one note for folks is the nomination forms are out there. Had some conversation with folks the other day. The committee seems to lack female candidates for athletics, and just that encouragement to find folks that have excelled. I can think of a handful off the top of my head, but I don't always have those relationships, so that we can recognize everyone's achievements.
Anything to add, Mr. Keene?
I would just add that the Athletic Hall of Fame nomination committee will be meeting, I think it's in December, where we kind of look at what happened and look forward, look ahead. It's not the new nomination time, but if anybody has any suggestions for improvements, anybody in the audience has any suggestions for improvements or changes, we would be happy to hear about that. We'll discuss it in December. Thanks.
Thank you. Next committee report, academic achievement. That is you, Mr. Keel. Do you have anything to say?
Mrs. Judge is here. If you want to ask anything of Mrs. Judge, she's going to be presenting here tonight, I know, but anything else you want to ask about the said presentation to the Academic Achievement Committee? I think not, so thank you there.
All right.
That's all.
Very good. Thank you very much. Agenda item 9C is policy, and Mr. Larrabee is not here tonight, so I can take that. We have lots of policies we went over in our meeting of September 29th. We have the first reading of 4 policies at the very top, and then we have the single reading and approval of a bunch of policies. And that is all. You'll see that on page 4. And then at the top of page 5, I will spare you reading everything out loud, but does anybody have any questions before we proceed? All right. Then on behalf of the policy, upon the motion made by committee member Stephanie Cogan, recommendation that the revisions made to the above stated policies be approved as presented. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 10, reports for information and action. 10A is the external auditor report, and that is John Criscone of the Cusack and Company. Jacqueline, would you like to do any introductory comments to this before John takes the stage?
I think he got it all.
All right. John, take it away.
Thank you again. We're presenting the audit report for the year end June 30, 2025. About an hour ago, we went over with the audit committee the audit results, and I'll just kind of reiterate that Angie and her team did a great job in getting us all the information that we need. There's a lot that goes into the audit, not only from phase 1 where we dive into your internal controls and we sample test over 100, transactions, including your extra classroom funds. But also after the year end is complete, we actually get in there probably not even a month after the year end closes and we start testing your balances. So it just shows the level of effort and the timeliness of when we can actually get in to do the audit. And not that Ange wants to get us in and out as fast as possible, but it is very helpful when we're on site, whenever we're asking for information, and it's a lot of information that we ask for, as long as Jacqueline as well, she knows. It's there, within probably 15 or 20 minutes, which is kind of unheard of in a lot of other, districts that we audit. So that's something that's nice to see. The fact that when we present results like we are today, where there's absolutely no findings, no recommendations for internal control processes, we think that you have great segregation of duties and approval processes, internal audit function. And also another thing that you want to hear from your auditors is things like no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies. And I don't think we never have any adjusting journal entries. I know the materiality factor for us to propose any entries is quite high for the district. However, just shows that the accuracy of the books and records as of June 30, 2025, that Ange and her team is presenting before we actually come in and do the audit. So that helps a lot with the timeliness and efficiencies of the audit process as well. Allows us to focus on the main parts of the audit, which is what we're supposed to do, and focuses on the 83-page report that we're presenting here today. So, but yeah, again, kudos to you and your team. Another clean opinion from us, both on the regular audit, extra classroom funds, and the single audit, which is the federal awards programs. So all good news to report. And if anybody has any, I know we went into a little bit more detail with the audit committee, but if anyone on the board has any other questions, it's not here.
Do we hear any questions?
Well, I would just say it's because of our staff here that do such a wonderful job that we don't have any worries in that area. So we really appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Yes, I would echo that comment. Angie, thank you. I know you put a lot of time into this, a lot of effort. Really appreciate it. Jacqueline, thank you to you and to your staff too. It's a lot of hard work, and to hear this is very satisfying to me and to the board and to everybody in this room. I know. All right.
Can I just happen to think that in the past, Mrs. Martinez, you have talked about the state ed coming in and they wanted to do it. They've done audits in the past that take the whole summer and take the whole building and everything. Is that something that's coming, or is it gone, or?
They're supposed to do it every 5 years. It's on a rotating basis, but it's been a little over 5 and we haven't seen them.
Okay.
Speak right to the
So they're
camera.
bound to be knocking on our doorstep one of these days. Maybe they're a little behind schedule.
But clearly
They don't tell
the
us until it's time.
CUSAC group doesn't occupy the time that they do. That's wonderful.
I think we're pretty close to the Capitol, so they like to hang out.
I like to hang out.
Yeah.
It's been a little while.
You get on quite a bit with
Yeah.
programs and.
But Angelique does a great job in the summer, and most people say, oh, you work for school summer, you're off, and it's our busiest time.
It's your busiest
office.
time.
It's a little stressful. We wipe the sweat off probably September 15th is when it kind of dies down. As everybody else is ramping up, we kind of get to die down a little bit. So thank you, Angelique, and all of her hard work over the summer to get our books closed and open.
Yep.
So
But in
we do
the
it together.
in the auditing world, when you're doing your job right, you don't have anything to worry about. All right. Very good. So on behalf of the Audit Finance Committee, upon the motion made by the Board of Education President, recommendation that the external audit report prepared by John Crisco of the CUSAC Company, CPAs LLC, for the 24-25 fiscal year be approved as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much.
John, Angelique, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Agenda item 10, letter B, 2025 summer school reports. That's Stephanie and Luce on summer school program for grade 9 to 12. Then Melissa Judge for ESY summer school program for special education. And then Jennifer Wells will report on the summer academy. Ladies, take it away.
Good evening. First and foremost, I want to thank the board for all your dedication to the community, as well as the summer program, as well as the district cabinet. It wouldn't be a successful program without the support that you all provide. So this year, summer school, a little shift with construction going on, shifted to Sand Creek, which was interesting to say the least. The 7 through 12 program ran July 7th through the 14th. We stayed with a 25-day program, same times for 3 sessions. Session 1 and 2 are always jam-packed, and then session 3 is a scheduling. If some of those kids needed 2 classes, 3 classes, we were able to finagle the schedule so that they could max out at 3 courses and earn as many possible credits as they could. Grades 5-6 is a 20-day program. They come from 8 to 11, focusing strictly on math and ELA. And then, of course, our ENL Summer Boost Camp, which is always a nice experience for our students, went on as well. And that's a 12-day program. And shout out to April Malambi. She does an excellent job with that program. Grade levels enrolled, 5-6, we had 49 students. 7-8, there were approximately 84 students, and 9 through 12, we had 151 students. These are just the students in core courses, so a total of about 284 kids this summer. And then we had about 249 students enrolled in our virtual Regents test preps, and 104 students passed a Regents exam this summer. As usual, any student that gets through the summer and passes a Regents exam or gets a course credit is a win in our eyes. So that's an amazing accomplishment for those students that are attending in the summer. 89% of students who completed the program earned course credit. And there was an 89% daily attendance rate, and that's for 9 through 12, only those credit bearing classes. The courses offered, English and math for 5-6, which I touched on. Grade 7-8 was ELA, math, social studies, and science. And then our 9 through 12, we offered all the courses we typically offer besides earth science. We were unable to find an earth science teacher to deliver the coursework, but we did still offer a test prep for those students with some Edmentum support. So we tried to get creative given the circumstances. The courses with the asterisks are our accelerated courses, health, economics, and CEIP.
Describe what you mean by accelerated stuff.
These are students who want to get ahead. So they're taking these courses so that they can free up their schedule during the school year to take additional courses at the high school, whether they're college level courses, an internship experience. So they all benefit from having these 3 courses in the summer as a senior especially, so that they can take advantage of some of the courses, especially those singleton courses that are only offered 1 period of day. So it's definitely helpful for our more accelerated students. CEIP, awesome experience in the summer. There were 15 students that participated in CEIP this summer. Some of the placements were the New York State Department of Transportation, Samaritan Hospital, Capital Imaging, Sand Creek Animal Hospital, and then in our very own backyard of the high school, we had some students working in the greenhouse, and they learned all of the elements of running a greenhouse, and then even provided some food, like services with food options that they harvested.
Are they doing the same volume of hours they would do during a typical school year?
Yeah,
So,
It's just a virtual component, so, they're virtual with Mrs. Nisik over the summer, and then they still have to do those internship hours. Whereas in the school year, they're in person for the
Right.
instruction.
yeah.
August Regents exam, like I said, any student that gets through an August exam is a win. These are some of our students that struggle to pass and have taken these exams multiple times throughout the school year, either January or June. So anyone that passes in August is a win, and it just boosts our June Regents exam scores. So I have included the August data here, and I can send this data out to all of you tomorrow morning. So if you'd like to dive a little deeper, and then you can see the combined June and August passing rates as well. ENL Boost Camp, this year was a really cool experience for our students. They took a field trip to the Radix Center in Albany. So they always have a theme every year, and this year it was aquaponics. At the end, they always present a capstone project where teachers and students kind of come in and they provide verbal presentations and their projects at the end of the summer. So it was a really nice experience for those students, and they thoroughly enjoyed going to the Radix Center, especially the chickens that are there, from what I hear. Huge shout out to, the transportation department. They always do a very nice job getting our students to and from summer school for all 3 sessions. Communications, thank you for assisting with the website and informational brochures. Our counseling department for assisting with student registration. Food service went above and beyond this year with offering the grab and go in the morning, but also accommodating our students for lunch, which was awesome to have on site. A lot of our kids would finish their day, grab lunch, and then go home, or they were just coming in for a course, would grab lunch and head to another course. So it was nice to have them on site. Some changes from last year that went well, that I mentioned in the updates last year, was we did host registration on the same date for 7-8 as the high school, which eliminated a lot of confusion as to who was going to show up. So students from 7-8 came, and the middle school counselors were also at the high school West Wing registering their students. So we had a clear picture of who was going to attend. I thought that went very well. We had 15 one-to-one students enrolled this summer who benefited from special ed instruction, and it was pretty individualized as to what the credits they needed, as far as like general English, general algebra A and B courses that wouldn't typically be offered over the summer. We were able to offer to some kids. And now, exciting news, obviously you've probably heard, but we have 2 certified driver's education teachers that I'm hoping next summer we'll be able to get a number of students in the program and run it at a higher scale. Some recommendations for next year. I would recommend returning, I know Leishkill was under construction, but returning to a smaller location. As far as Sand Creek, it is a little challenging to contain high schoolers to one wing of a building when it's an entire loop. So Leishkill was definitely a lot more feasible with just containing the kids to one area, and it worked well. Adding an ENL teacher for summer school, a number of our enrollment, and I can send out some data after the fact, but a large number of our students in the summer are ELL students, and being able to provide that support for them in the summer and get them through some of the courses and tests they need would be instrumental, I think. I would say 2 administrators, much feasible, at least for registration, Regents exams, even day-to-day tasks. Having 2 on site is definitely a benefit. And offering driver's ed over the summer.
Can you clarify? 200 some odd students, you were the only administrator?
Yes. It's manageable. It's just definitely helpful to have another person. Obviously, Janae, used to assist me and it worked very well, but, I would say it's definitely goes smoother when you have two people. Luckily, I had some support staff that were willing to help it out, and my clerical, Rhiannon,
Right.
is amazing and does a very nice job, but,
Excellent.
any questions? Yes.
With the Regents results, do you have it broken down how many of the students that didn't pass were Ls?
I can get that for you. I have it from, last year and I can work on this year's as well.
Thank
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
I just wanted some clarity around the Edmentum for earth science. Was it the like computer-based, the kids are working independently part of Edmentum, or like the ed options where they have virtual tutoring and virtual instruction? Or
It was
former?
completely independent.
What other option, because clearly that, like, based on the data, that didn't work, right?
Yeah.
Like, only 2 kids passed. So what other options, like, can be explored when we have staffing? I mean, we can't make people work in the summer, right? It is what it is, right? Like, and so what other options, like, what are your suggestions for next summer if we were to run into that for any of the subjects, right?
Yeah, and again, like that, I probably should have put in my recommendations. The hiring was a little challenging this year, and you're right, we can't make people work in the summer. You know, some of the positions we hired outside and between you and I, it wasn't, you know, we like to have our own.
Yep.
And we wanna make sure that our kids, you know, they know our kids, they know, you know, how things roll here and getting kids through and getting their credits. So, yeah, so especially like, the sciences, they're hard to hire for. And that's even in the school year. So, definitely something that we'll need to look into and get creative with.
I'm just wondering about, I know the cost associated with Edmentum, and I'm wondering what costs it would be to perhaps like partner with neighboring districts where they're able to accept our kids into their programming, where they might have other numbers. Like, that's just my wondering and suggestion, I guess. And I'd love to look at the data on like a 3-year trend. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything.
Of course. All right, I'm gonna turn it over to Melissa.
Appreciate that.
She comes with packets.
You know how I roll. You know.
They're all.
Mr. Keith, we made an assistant principal this summer. They were taking their administrative coursework at MCLA.
Okay.
So a lot of them are available, and Janae Blair had moved over to the science supervisor, so.
One of those you could do it with just brand new hire.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Melissa Judge, and I oversaw ESY this summer. I will just echo Stephanie. I'm really grateful that I am able to oversee extended school year. It's a phenomenal program. I enjoy every second of it, and thank you to the district cabinet and the Board of Ed for all your support. Okay, so program overview. I gave you a handout, and I'm really not going to read from it. I'm just using it as a little guide. We had 104 students who said yes to ESYs this summer. And I would say about 98 of them attended consistently. Summer program is 6 weeks for ESY. It's K-12, goes to age 21. It's from like right after July 4th till mid-August. And we go from 8 to 12 and we are housed at Forest Park. This year we had 17 sections that ran. And on your handout, you will see the breakdown of the sections. We have 612 for elementary and middle. We have 913 for elementary, middle, and high school. And we have 1212 for elementary, middle, and high school. Okay, faculty and staff. I also list all of our faculty and staff. We have a lot of faculty and staff at ESY, and they are super supportive, super collaborative. Many new staff this summer. We had an art teacher that came, for me, it was my first time with art, but as Dr. Perry said, like we've had art in the past, but we were able to offer art this summer. So Ms. Dudak joined us from Leisha Hill. She was wonderful. She worked half the day, so part-time art. So we rotated specials for our ESY students. We had new PT this summer, Samantha Lanigan, wonderful addition, housed right at Forest Park, and she did an amazing job. We also have just new teachers, new monitors, new TAs, and I will say like ESY, just a little bit of a learning curve, and the returning staff and the veteran staff definitely help collaborate and support so we have a successful program. Student services, we did offer this summer speech, social work, occupational therapy, and physical therapy like we do every summer. You will see based on my notes that speech is like the highest need, and then secondary to OT. So that just like informs our staffing. But our students are receiving that based on their IEP recommendations. And I will say that that is really fun. We do remember it is summer, so our service providers make sure that they have fun with the supports. Like we have cooking, we have games. They do a lot of different things to engage students to make sure that they're meeting their IEP goals over the summer. Okay, attendance, safety, and wellness. We have particularly, I would say, good numbers for summer, and we did talk about this last summer, and Jen, I know you asked about this. I would say, like, I tried to break it down a little bit more just so you could see, like, the attendance data for each class. Overall, it's like 87% attendance, and I do think that's pretty good for over the summer. And I looked specifically at, like, why students were out. A lot of it is families just go on vacation. Like, one of our students went to Africa for, like, 2 weeks. Another student, like they went on multiple trips. Sometimes they do day trips. Sometimes students get sick over the summer. So there are things that come up. I did put in there, just to be totally honest, like one parent thought ESY ended early. So we're like, where's this student? So we called it, oh, we'll bring them back. Sometimes parents have little kids at home. They can't always do busing. So they'll bring them in, or sometimes they can't. So those things pop up. And then additionally, like we don't really send kids home from ESY, but unfortunately this summer we didn't have a kid we had to send home. It was fine. We worked through it. Lots of good discussion and documentation, working with his team for the upcoming school year, and I did check in on him and he's doing great. So those discussions were actually really positive and brought to light some things that we can work with PBS and his related service providers on. So I would say very good attendance. We always do 2 fire drills just to make sure that we're practicing and we're getting out, and they went extremely well. We have TCIS teams that I assigned at the beginning of the summer. This year we also did like TCIS group text. I know it's like groundbreaking for me. It really helped a lot. I don't know why we didn't do it last summer, but we brought it back this summer. And we did order some radios, which were amazing because when you need people, it's just really nice to like someone know like somebody's on their way. We want to make sure that we're responding to crisis timely and that trained staff are there quickly. We also have stealthware from Permo, which people in the 612 classrooms typically use, but some of our 913 teachers use it as well. Stealthware just is like arm covering, hand covering, jackets, just to make sure like if students are in crisis and they're scratching or biting or kicking, that our teachers are safe and our monitors and TAs are safe and protected. This summer, also, we had breakfast again. We've always typically had breakfast, I believe, and about 65 students on average took advantage of breakfast every morning. And then we had lunch new this summer, and I will echo Stephanie in just saying that we're really grateful to food service, Annette and her team just provide a variety. Students loved it. Like a lot of kids like look forward to lunch and talk about lunch and had favorites. And we had 85 kids were able to get lunch and have lunch before they got on the bus and left for the day. And we felt really good about that. So really grateful to food service and to Annette for all her hard work. We also had some really exciting things happening in terms of just experiences for students. SEPTA is amazing and they support ESY. They pay for our Bring on the Spectrum field trip, which we do historically since I started working with Jill for ESY every year. It's a great trip. I got to go over there this summer and be part of it. It is so much fun and the kids love it. I would say like I didn't really like people talked about getting rid of that trip or not, but this year we had no issues. The hardest issue is just number one, preparing kids that they have to leave Forest Park, get on the bus in the middle of the day and go over there. So we just do a lot of work with transitions. But once we get to Bring on the Spectrum, it's really fun. It's so sensory and it's hands-on and they're moving the whole time. And then when they come back, we're just transitioning them. So we try to do it close to like when they get to leave and go home for the day. That works out really nicely. But it was a successful trip. And that's really for more of our like elementary and sometimes like young middle school kids, but we did have about 50 students participate out of 98. Our high school classes do try to do different things, like they'll have their own trips, they go to local businesses to volunteer and support, and I just listed some of those for you. This year, Amy Bain did a new thing where she brought her class to CrossFit and they loved it and looked forward to it, and it was a really great experience for them. This year, we also did something different where we added a music experience. Mr. Hartel agreed to come once in July and once in August, and we worked with district office to fund this. And they just had, like, each class had about a 30-minute music experience in July and August. It was very hands-on, again, a lot of movement. The kids had a blast, the faculty and staff just loved seeing the kids like really like moving and enjoying. It was so much fun. I highly recommend doing it again if possible. It was a great experience. We also try to remember it's summer. Stewart's is always great. They donate ice cream to us. We did our last day ice cream social. We also were fortunate enough to work with SEPTA to bring Kona one day. We did that the second to last day. The kids love it. And again, you can incorporate learning with that. There's a lot with counting and a lot with colors. And it was really, we could make it an academic experience as well. Additionally, I will just say thanks to Deneen and her team, like there's a lot that goes into ESY. We want supplies, we want kids to be able to be hands-on, and we also want to make sure we have what they need in terms of wipes and pull-ups, and she provides drinks, snacks, and gloves, and that's housed in our nurse's office. We also got to do a little bit of water play this summer, very safe, slip and slide, monitored extensively, no accidents. It was great. It was so much fun. And we did have some dance parties, so I think that was also a win. Again, it's summer, we want kids to learn and enjoy it, and you can always incorporate learning into those activities. Okay, academics. So going back to like business, we had some really great strides over the summer in terms of kids meeting their academic goals. I will say our teachers are so attentive to progress monitoring. Right at the beginning of the summer, they get on, they make sure they have their summer goal posted in Frontline, and then their progress monitoring every 2 weeks. And then at the end of summer, they send families their progress report, just letting families know how students did with the summer goal and what they're going to focus on for the next year. And I do want to thank PBS. I work really closely with them just to make sure that teachers have access to Frontline, so they're reading IEPs ahead of time, making sure summer goals are established, and making sure that they're able to progress monitor. Okay, strengths. I would say that we had 2 consistent nurses this summer, which is great. I again worked with Jill, and sometimes we're not always able to have a consistent nurse. Last summer we had 1, this summer we had 2, but they did a really nice job communicating. It was crucial because we do have some kids who need attention in terms of like if they have diabetes, if they have medication, if they just need someone who knows them. So Julia, June, and Ashley Williams were able to split it, and they both did a phenomenal job. Also, as Steph said, the transportation department, I don't know when I'm gonna get over it. I don't know if it's gonna happen in my lifetime, but they are amazing. Talking just getting the kids on the bus, checking with me, making sure all kids are there, providing booster seats, harnesses, safety. I had to ride the bus home one day with a kid, and the way these bus drivers are so attentive to the students, making sure the parents there, I never knew as a high school person what goes into this, but I am so impressed. They are a big part in our safety, and I can't thank Brian Sim and Kyle Bartlett enough with their team for all that they do. Additionally, custodians, poor Bradley at Forest Park, he might murder me one day, but that's okay. I probably deserve it. I harass Bradley 24/7, texting, calling, and he's trying to like get the school cleaned and organized and then open it again. And I'm like, Bradley, no, can't do it. He's like, listen, we got to work it out. So we ended up working through some things, but Bradley is so neat, clean, tidy, and responsive. And I'm grateful to him and every other custodian that helped me, and maintenance. I mean, I was calling them a lot too. They came down, James Lovett and his IT team, just making sure people are set up with technology for the summer. Like Ange said, and Jacqueline said, like it's dead in the summer for most people, but for ESY it's not, and people are like on summer break, but I would be calling them, asking them to come and help, and they did, because we want the program to run smoothly and effectively. So I thank all those departments. Already did my shout out to food service, PPS, seriously so helpful in terms of guidance and direction and making sure that we're meeting kids where they are, providing their services, and just giving me some like PPS expertise that I might need to know. Talked about Stealthware. Coffee cart came back. I think I need to skip a slide. Coffee cart came back. So much fun. Kids love it, and adults love it, and they're learning so much from that program. Shout out to Sarah Norton's team for that. Jen Satin and Marin Alexander did greeting cards this summer and recycling, and we had 3 therapy dogs that were there to join us. So those are some of our program's strengths You'll see one of the new therapy dogs, Stanley, right there. He was the gem, just a gem. Yeah, so sweet. Program recommendations, there's just three. Number one, I just will say that I would recommend that all staff who do ESY are trained in TCIS. I do think it's crucial that they're either, de-escalation trained or restraint trained. If they're gonna be in 612, I think they need to be restraint trained. I just think it will help and make them feel more confident in those situations. There's also talk about sensory training or different types of training that we could provide to staff, and I'm open to exploring that with PPS as well. I would say field trips are so great, and we do have bots. And I know we talked, Dr. Perry and I, about trips, like Joe used to do a lot, and then we got away from them. But if we can bring people in, like we brought James in this summer, that was fun. We had Kona come. If the kids think it's like a huge deal having someone come, and there's like an aberration from their regular schedule. So I'll work and try to find like good deals. I know I have to remember like money is a thing, and we have to be thoughtful about that. So anywho, I just think that's really good for the kids, and it gives a lot of engaging activities where we can apply academics. And then just lastly, art came back. So we had a library, PE, art, and I would like to see if we could have music. I do think it's really great for the kids to have specials, and I'm open to like doing it less. Like right now we have library 0.6. I think that'd be great if we had library like 0.4 and PE 0.4. Jonathan LaPointe does an amazing job with PE, and then maybe had music and art like less, maybe less but more special. I think it's just great for kids to have those different areas where they're really getting out and using their academics and applying it in different ways. But overall, loved ESY. It was a great summer. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Melissa, can you
Yes.
talk about the training aspect?
Sure.
What goes in, and especially because I see you've got here the stealth wear, and if it's.
Yeah.
I have something similar called Ucaro, which is, equipment and such. Are trained staff using the equipment?
Mhm.
So that's, they have to be certified in that before they can
You
use
don't
the
have
stealth
to
wear?
be, but what happens is like it's train the trainer model. So a lot of so I go through and I see who is TCIS certified. I get a full list. I do a de-escalation list and then full restraint list. And then I'll call TCIS teams. You don't really suit up and go to a room if you're not certified. But it's just like, it's usually the same people, right? So, and then there's usually people who come out as more confident who will end up leading the charge. And then they'll go. But I try to switch it up. So I'll have like this summer, I think I had 5 teams of 4, which isn't bad. It's really pretty good. But it would be helpful if everybody who's in that room was TCIS trained, because then they're not waiting for someone. Because typically like it happens and then they're doing their best and they're doing a great job and I'll go immediately, but I'm not TCIS restraint trained. So I'll just be there watching and helping and doing what I can until the TCIS team reports. It's not too long, but like the sooner the better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Jen's
Oh,
got a-
You
Ms.
knew
Cooley's
it.
got a question.
Hold on.
You knew that was coming.
Cool hand, sorry.
I just want to shout you out for your tremendous energy and all of the like amazing experiences you provided for some of our most vulnerable students. So thank you for that. I do have a question about the 104 students that said yes to ESY. I'm wondering out of how many who are eligible. And you don't have to give me that data now,
Mhm.
but that is just some follow-up
I
data.
can absolutely look and see. Some
I'm
parents
curious
just- yeah,
about,
are interested.
And I know we talked last year about potentially delineating between the programs around the hours, because we recognized that certainly the 6s, right? Like sometimes families don't take advantage of those programs because they are only from 8 to 12. And we previously had offered a longer day, and I distinctly remember us discussing that last year that possibly we could at least consider extending the day for some of our families that don't have alternative options for the children to go at noon, because it's either a full-time program out or a full-time program in the district, and we have working families. So it's just, in terms of recommendations, something I'd really like to see us more strongly consider next summer supporting. I love the idea of getting creative with in-house field trips, because that's still a special experience for kids, even if they're not physically going somewhere, and sometimes more manageable.
Yes.
So shout out for that. The partners with, the folks who are sponsoring different opportunities for the kids. And if need any support with this, I'm happy to help point you in some direction.
Be careful, guys, because I'll be going. Two
No
things I
worries.
just wanna say to that is, we do have some staff, I know, like, extending it is like, we've been talking about it, but we do have staff at ESY who actually sign up to do respite. So when kids leave at noon, like, there is some ESY staff that will actually go with the kids. I think it's like more this year than I saw last year, so that's
That's
a
a
nice
good
thing
step.
too.
Yeah.
And I'll get you the data on, like, who said no to ESY.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would just be good to collect not only what, the no, but why they said no, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you
Melissa,
so
do you-
much, you're amazing.
Do you have your team ready to go for next summer? Or do you,
We're ready.
the earlier you recruit them, the better, right?
That's why I'm here. Yeah, we'll be ready, absolutely. They're a great group and they're supportive and a lot of them have been doing it for a while. We try to make it as enjoyable as possible for them so they come back, and I think we do a great job. Our district really takes care of its employees, so we'll be communicating in spring and they're waiting for it. They're always asking me,
Okay.
when's the posting coming? I'm assuming, okay. Yeah, but yes, Mr. Hill, we'll be ready.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'll follow Melissa, Jen Wells, K4, UPK 4 now, Summer Academy. So something that I didn't put in here, is that it was my 10th year doing this program. So, we had 11 in the district, but COVID, we didn't have that one year. So it was our 10th anniversary. We've evolved a little bit, and before I start, Mr. Thompson could not be here, so he sends his regrets. He has 2 aging in-laws, and one's not supposed to drive at night, and the other one needs PT, and he was gonna drive the one to PT, and Mr. Thompson's like, no, you're not, and I said, thank God you live next door, because he saw him trying to get in the car. So he sends his regrets, but he worked with me, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we go. So when we started, as many of you know, we had only K2 literacy academy back in the day when I started, and it was an hour and a half. At 8:30 to 10 and 10:15 to 11:45, and after about 2 years, I said, our second session was that basically, there were some times when no kids would come. So we petitioned to the board, and we thank you so much, because we asked for a 3-hour program, and it's been huge, because we averaged about 87 kids back then. And this year, our numbers are down, 297, down 71, and it was due to the late budget approval, and that wasn't because of anyone's fault. We just had to look at funding since COVID funds went out. We had to kind of revamp some things. Once we got the approval, parents unfortunately had already made commitments, because like Melissa said, UPK4 especially, summer camp information, if you haven't had a little one in a while, I still have a 6th grader, so I know you book those in January. So when we don't put out invitations till March, April, parents are already committed. They do ask, they reach out, and we're like, yep, you're invited, but without that final, like, are you sure we're in type of thing, that was a challenge. So next year, we already know, thanks to Jacqueline and Dr. Perry, we know our budget, so we're prepared to invite them sooner. And we'll be able to get those numbers back up again, I think, because we have been averaging about 350 students since COVID. This is at the New York State Museum, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But we had 2 locations this year, thank you to Saddlewood. Peter was under construction, as Mr. Vardero can attest to. He did have an office, and so I don't know, do you have one yet? Oh, okay, he does. That's great. I'm in his old one, so I don't know. Saddlewood was great. Stacy Ranish and her staff were amazing. She had not done it, and that was news to me, because Stacy and I have worked together for almost 20 years now, with my time with her at BOCES, and she had never had summer academy at her building as a principal, because she only had the playground drop-off program. So she had CYC and summer academy for the first time this year. So kudos to her. We made it all work. Everyone was wonderful. Her new custodian, because Pat retired, he was very helpful, and it went amazingly well. And then we were also at Rosella, like we always are, and they're always fantastic over there. And their CYC staff is veteran staff. We choose the buildings with CYC for ease of families, so that they can bring them before, come to us for summer school, and then go back to CYC, and that's why we do it, and it works beautifully. It doesn't interfere with their field trips, although they don't go on any anymore. I didn't know if you know that. They only go on like 2. They don't go swimming anymore. So that was sad news for all of them. I didn't know any of that until this summer. So, but they did go to the movies and Howe Caverns, and our students got to go because it doesn't interfere. We make sure they're available. So those are the locations. Ours is a 16-day program usually, and this year it was, sometimes it's 15 days, because if the 4th of July runs in there, then we always end on Thursday. We talked about ending on a Monday once, and we thought that would not go well. So
This year was a full 16 days, 4 straight weeks. 41 teachers, 24 TAs in UPK 4. We had co-teach in every grade level except UPK in both buildings. So we had a K co-teach 1, 2, 3, 4 in both Saddlewood and Roselda. And just, I should have said this, I apologize. We divide the kids up now with Forest Park goes to Saddlewood and or Beaterside, and then it's Roselda and Shaker Road at the other side, just because of the building size and it's easier to get them over there. So then we have the 3 schools in one. We're up to 33% ELLs, and if you remember last year, we had 25%. So as Steph was saying too, our percentage is rising, and that does not include the Sally Ward, as I call it, ENL program. That's just who is in our summer academy program. So she has the separate ENL program that's housed with us, but we're up to 33%. So we're rising in that regard, and that's showing in our need. So we thank you for allowing us to have an ENL teacher this year that helped support us. She pushed in to the rooms, and so that was great. We were able to do it again, second year in a row of 100% maintenance on F&P reading level. We do that in at the end of June, they all take it in school. And then at the end of our program, they do it again to make sure they've maintained some increase, but I'm just looking for maintenance. It's a 4-week program. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, they revert back because unfortunately they go back home for 5 more weeks before they start with us again in September. We encourage them to read, but we do see some slide, as Melissa will now tell you, over August. And so we're looking at ways that we can help support that. We encourage them to do reading at home, the summer library, iReady, things like that, but time gets away fast. Attendance, we had 95% again, second year in a row. I will tell you that I might be cheating that just a little bit, and Rich and I made the decision that our attendance dips week 2 because they go to Camp Invention. But because they go to Camp Invention in our district and I verify that they're really over there, I say that I don't mark them like out. I just take them off that week. So Ange and I calculated that they really only attended 3 weeks out of 3 weeks because they're over there. So if we take that out, then that number would be lower. But since we had Camp Invention in our district, that's what, because we didn't want to tell them not to go. So they're in something that we're offering. So, and they're getting a great experience at that place. So we don't want the families to feel they have to choose. So, but the kids love coming. They keep asking us if we can have it longer. Can we have it on Fridays? Can we go in August? Can't get my staff to agree to that. I've been trying, but they're like, 4 weeks is good, Jen. I'm good. Thank you. But the kids truly love it. Like Melissa said, they really love it. So, highlights again, we had remedial reading and math, for both buildings, and that was great. So we pulled our tier 2 and tier 3 kids, and we had speech for tier 2 and tier 3 kids. And when I say speech, I don't mean like IEP speech. I mean that we had it for our tier 2 and tier 3 kids that get it during the school year. So they were able to work with one. We have one travel between the 2 buildings, same thing. Second year with UPK students, and that is going really well. I talked to Bill Gordon this morning, and he said that the teachers are seeing that carryover into kindergarten. So our kindergartners who were UPK students here in our district who also attended Summer Academy are holding that. And it's really helping. And so they're adorable. You really need to come see them in the summer. It's cute. All of them were 5 this year, so they all got to ride the bus. We didn't have to check into that. We cross-referenced lists, so that was good. And then we went on a field trip again, so thanks to transportation, because they do that for us. This year we went to the New York State Museum, and we arranged that. Mr. Thompson called around a few places. We wanted to do one that if it rained, it was okay, because last year we got rained on at 5 Rivers. And the kids were fine, but the teachers were not so fine. And there were a lot of bees. So, and this year it probably would have been worse. Excuse me. So the museum was a highlight. They opened the carousel early for us. So that was a big hit. We thanked them for that. But the highlight of it for myself and Mr. Thompson was that the kids were enthralled with the 9/11 memorial. And they're young. You know, so if you think about that, like that's 20 years ago, right? And they were enthralled in all age levels, kindergarten all the way up. And so that was really interesting to us. So there's some pictures of them there. And they made s'mores as well, not at the museum. So there's some things that we did. And Stewart's again did our annual ice cream party that we did in the rain. But at Saddlewood, we were lucky because we just did it under the overhead that they had there. And the kids were great because it was warm. Roselva, Mr. Thompson did inside, and they did it right in the front hallway so that all the mess was contained to the floor. And so, but it went very well. And we thank Stewart's again for that. They do it every year for us. Food services, again, we can't thank them enough, same thing. I didn't know about lunch though, so now I'm gonna ask about lunch next year, because it appears that I didn't, I'm just kidding. We had snack, and it was great, and thanks to Joe Willie, who brought it over and set it up for us every single day. A funny story that Joey said I could share is that, the first day, he put the water in the freezer, because he didn't realize the freezer was the freezer in the one kitchen, and so all the water was frozen, the kids thought that was a riot, so they just had him outside and kind of measured how long it would take them to thaw. So that was fun. But otherwise, it was great. Considerations, just continuing. It's nothing that we're asking for new. We would like to support the early intervention. Right now, you are affording us to be able to have a TA in every K2 classroom. And then we share out at 3-4 if we need to. And that helped a lot. We can really get small group instruction done then because we have kids in groups of 4 to 1 if we can, or 6 to 1, depending. And that's in our special ed rooms as well. And then just our field trip. We continue to look for free ones, and then we just ask the transportation help us with that, and they've been great about doing that. So we really appreciate it because they do 4 of them. So because of our size, they take us 4 groups at a time. That's what they've recommended, and they do it, and they love it, and they never complain, and they're fantastic. So we appreciate that. We appreciate all of you giving us that opportunity, and on to year 11 next year. So in both places. Any questions? Yeah.
Is there any way, or would it make sense to move the program back a little in the summer? So maybe there's not as much regression, and maybe camp convention wouldn't be interfering with.
So we talked about that, but then it would start in week 3 of July. And so then it would go into week 3 of August, and teachers and parents did not like that when I surveyed them. But we could certainly explore it. The challenge is like Steph and Melissa were saying, we have a third of our staff is not district right now. So we're at a different stage since I started 11 years ago. We have the people that were all doing it are now either retired or they're having their own babies. And I'm like, no, you got married again. I know what that means. So they, they're in different places. Like they've all like this year I had 7 that were out because they were having their own families. And now they're like, yeah, we'll come back when they're back in school. And I'm like, that's 5 years. So that's where we're at. So thank goodness for the staff outside, and thanks to Chris Roblotti for helping me post that. Because we do have a third of our staff is from out of district. And I forgot one important thank you, Krista Misek and the high school TA program is phenomenal, because without them, we wouldn't have enough TAs. So we had 9 again this year that did a phenomenal job. They, loved it. They, came and worked hard. They come back. We had 2 returning from, last summer, even though they're in college and working now and stuff, they wanted to work with us. And so they worked it out with their summer work schedule so they could do both. So they loved it so much. So that was great. But yeah, I think that would be the only thing. We could certainly ask Rose, but I think that's the challenge, is that our teachers want to be able to go on vacation and start to get back. And then there's courses and TCIS training in districts. So we could certainly look into it and ask. We could move campus punishment.
Well, that's where I was gonna go, is
I'm just,
how much
I'm just saying
fluid.
regression, would it help?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The regression
Opposed
piece
to
is different
school
here,
year.
convention,
Yeah.
attendance, yeah. So, and we know there's gonna be regression anyway, right? But,
But if it
yeah.
helps a little.
so, if we could, it'll be interesting to see how much regression there was this year, so, as well. So we can look at that and share that. So. Anything else?
Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to all of you.
Agenda item number 11, reports and recommendations for action. This starts letter A. And it goes to letter L on page 8. Are there any items of note, Dr. Perry?
Just the wording of the internal auditing we talked about in the audit finance committee earlier today, adjustment of company on letter H there.
All right, very good. And letter K, donations from Charles Charton, 2017 Coffin cello. valued at $4,000. Thank you very much, Mr. Charton. Are there any questions, comments?
I would just say that letter C just reiterates how much we do for every student. We have one student, I believe, Dr. Perry, that is transported to Pittsfield. I mean, that's quite a ways to go, and we do that
49 miles. 0.5, yeah.
to keep it under 50. Is that what you're saying?
That's all the distance that we have to transport.
So that's transport every day, not living.
Correct.
Correct, that's a day different.
That's still a large
We have
amount
two
of money.
students there.
Yeah, during the school year, we have 2 students, so they're combining.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll take a motion. Mr. Keen, second, Mr. Misick. On the motion made by Mr. Keen, seconded by Mr. Misick, that the above stated reports and recommendations be approved, all in favor. Any opposed? Carried 7-0. Excuse me. Agenda item number 12, personnel instructions. These can be found on pages 11 through 18. Mr. Robolati, take it away.
Yeah, I would say both 12 and 13 are just straightforward business
Okay,
activities. Lots of them, but
lots.
need to have.
Any questions on any of those for number 12? Hearing none, I'll take a motion. Ms. Gigliello, Mr. Casey. On the motion made by Ms. Gigliello, seconded by Mr. Casey, that the instruction personnel changes listed on the attached sheets dated October 7th, 2025 be approved. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Agenda item number 13, personnel support, 19 through 21. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll take a motion. Ms. Gigliello, second. Mr. Keen. On the motion made by Ms. Gigliello, seconded by Mr. Keen, that the support personnel changes listed on the attached sheets dated October 7th, 2025 be approved. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Agenda item number 14, resolutions. There are 5 of them. Mr. Cachadorian, would you care to comment on it?
Sure, I shared the link.
Mhm.
Once again, I've tried to highlight the highlights with highlighter so that you can see in there some of the fun and interesting things that are going on in our schools. Certainly, there's 5 really fun resolutions too. Obviously, you all being one that we can celebrate. But looking at all the different ways that schools are approaching, how to incorporate this into their curriculum, which Ms. O'Hana made sure I made reference back to our building principals to make sure that we are giving more specifics as to how we are implementing this. And better results as far as what is specifically going on within the building, so you guys have a better idea of what's happening. And I just want to shout out, obviously, our transportation department and our food services, and they're doing some special things this week and making sure that the areas of their focus are emphasized in each one of our school buildings the best that they can.
They were very interesting. Very interesting. Any
Shout out
questions?
transportation and food service as well.
Yes,
Amazing work.
they do amazing work.
Perhaps
We are
we can get a little bit more from the high school instead of a copy and paste in each of the categories.
Yes, I'll cry.
Thank you. Yes. Underwhelmed.
They couldn't use their cell phone, so they had to do
Perfect.
the best they could. for
They
them.
might have written a letter, put it in the mail.
Perfect. Excellent. Yes. Underwhelmed.
All right. Anything else? Hearing nothing, I'll take a motion. Mr. Keen, second. Mr. Casey. On the motion made by Mr. Keen, seconded by Mr. Casey, that the above stated resolution be approved. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Future meetings. Please take a look. Any questions?
Thursday is canceled.
Correct, yes.
I don't know if everybody heard.
Thursday's facility is canceled. Thank you. All right, Do we have any subjects for executive session? Hearing none, anything, any other business that needs to go before the board before we adjourn the meeting?
Just thank you again to everyone for all of these, the, some of the books that have gone around, just have some amazing pictures.
Yes.
It's a raise for our daily pay.
Thank you very much for taking the time and thinking about us and talking to the students about the Board of Education. That's really terrific.
And I just want to thank Amber again for whatever AI, whatever, because I really feel like it spoke to, like, us, like, right? Like AI
Yeah, that was.
couldn't tell all of those individual unique characteristics about each of us, and so.
I gotta take that slide and show my mom.
It was fun. I will send you all the slideshow. We just ask that you don't post on social media.
We will not post on social
And I
media.
had a lot of help from Dana and Kara. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with it. And I know Tess ended up getting involved and it really was fun.
And thank you for using your discretion too and not telling everything. It could have been worse.
That's the outtake.
I feel
That's the outtakes.
I feel seen, so thank you very much.
That's right, that's right. All right, may I have the motion to adjourn the meeting? Ms. Houlihan, second, Mr. Keen. On the motion made by Ms. Houlihan, seconded by Mr. Keen, that the regular meeting be adjourned, time 7:50. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you very much. Do we have a participation in government student?